What happened to the class clown after graduation? I went to high school with Jeff, who was the class clown. And I mean legendary status. This guy once released 3 chickens in the school labeled 1, 2, and 4. So teachers spent hours looking for chicken number 3. He superglued the principal's coffee mug to his desk. Senior year, he somehow got all the classroom clocks to run 15 minutes fast on exam day. Everyone thought he'd either end up a comedian or in jail TBH. I hadn't thought about him in years until last month when I was scrolling through Facebook and saw his name pop up in my memories from 10 years ago. It was a photo from graduation with a bunch of us making stupid faces, and Jeff was doing his signature thing where he'd cross his eyes and flare his nostrils. We called it his possessed gerbil face, and he could literally make anyone laugh with it. I got curious and searched his name, but couldn't find him on any social media, like 0 presence, which was weird because in high school he was always posting crazy pranks and stuff. So I messaged our mutual friend Ashley, who still lives in our hometown. Ashley takes forever to respond, like 3 days, but when she finally does, she's super vague. She's just like, "Oh yeah, Jeff, he's different now," and changes the subject. I'm at this coffee shop near my apartment that I go to like every morning, and I'm standing in line half asleep waiting to order. The guy in front of me orders in this super quiet voice, and something about it feels familiar. So I'm low-key staring at the back of his head trying to figure out why he seems familiar. He turns around with his coffee, and I literally almost drop my phone because it's Jeff. But also, not Jeff. Like physically, it's definitely him. Same eyes, same nose with that little bump from when he broke it sophomore year trying to skateboard off the gym roof. But everything else about him is different. High school Jeff had this wild curly hair he'd never brush, wore the loudest graphic tees, and was always talking. This Jeff has this neat short haircut, wearing a plain gray sweater and slacks, and he's so quiet. He looks at me, and there's this moment where I can see he recognizes me, but he doesn't smile or anything. I'm awkward so I'm like, "Jeff?" And he just nods and says, "Hello, Ophelia," in this super formal way that gave me actual chills. The weirdest part was that he seemed like he was waiting for something, like he was bracing himself. So I just rambled about how crazy it was to run into him and asked what he was up to these days. He says he's in finance with 0 elaboration, then asks if I still draw, which freaked me out because I wasn't even that into art in high school, just took 1 class junior year. The whole convo was so awkward I wanted to die, and after like 2 minutes he just says, "It was nice seeing you," and leaves. No questions about my life, no reminiscing, nothing. I couldn't stop thinking about it the whole day. Like, what happened to the guy who once gave an entire class presentation in an Australian accent for no reason? Who showed up to prom in a tux with shorts instead of pants and somehow didn't get kicked out? I messaged like 5 more people from high school asking about Jeff. Most didn't respond, but Lester, who was on the debate team with Jeff's senior year, finally gave me some info. Apparently after graduation, Jeff went to state college on a partial scholarship, but dropped out halfway through sophomore year. Nobody knew why exactly, but there were rumors he had some kind of breakdown. He moved back home, didn't talk to anyone from high school, and just disappeared from everyone's radar. I was getting more concerned, sheer curious, so I did something kind of crazy. I went back to that coffee shop at the same time for 3 days straight, hoping to run into him again. And on the 3rd day, he shows up. This time I'm prepared. I literally walk right up to him and say we should catch up properly, and suggest we sit down for a few minutes. He looks like he wants to say no, but then just sighs and agrees. What happened next still has me shook. We sit down, and after some awkward small talk, I just straight up ask what happened to him. Like, where did the old Jeff go? He takes this deep breath and tells me that halfway through college, his dad died suddenly, heart attack. And Jeff was the one who found him. He had to drop out to help his mom with his younger siblings and take over his dad's small business that was barely staying afloat. But that wasn't even the main thing that changed him. He tells me that at the funeral, almost nobody from his dad's life showed up. His dad had been the funny guy at his workplace, always pranking people and making jokes. Jeff said he overheard someone say they couldn't take him seriously, and you never knew when he was being real. Jeff looks at me and says, "I realized I was becoming him. The guy everyone laughs with but nobody respects. The person people talk about but don't actually talk to. Being the class clown was the loneliest thing I've ever experienced. Everyone wanted my performance, not my friendship."